I'm Ezzy and I'd sell you to the devil for one corn chip.
Hey, I'm Sparg, and if I had a corn chip for every time I heard that, I'd have the same amount of corn chips I have right now.
So, we're the anime hooligans and we're gonna be doing a podcast every week where we take a look at currently running Shonen Jump manga and we rag on them. We rag on them as if they were a t-shirt that we don't want anymore, so we're gonna make it into rags so we can clean the floor with them.
Wait, the manga is running? I thought the manga was Jump.
Jesus Christ.
That's terrible.
You couldn't save that for like 1 minute. For like just let some actual podcasting happen before you start talking like that. Anyway, we're gonna pull up our Shonen Jump Raws here.
Raw, fight the power.
And we're gonna look at this week's jump. The first jump of the year, technically. Yeah. It is the first issue of 2018.
Happy New Year's, peeps.
Happy New Year in December.
Yeah. So, let me tell you something, Ezzy.
Yeah.
Even though I've read most of, quite a bit of the mangas we're going to talk about today, and I'm a pretty big fan of Jump, this is the first time I'm actually looking at a cover for a Shonen Jump magazine.
Yeah, I actually really like this cover. I'm not a big fan of Haikyuu. But it's a really nice cover.
I have to agree, it's an amazing cover. It's really, self-explanatory.
It's super dynamic, it's colorful, there's some big titty bitches.
Oh, I was mostly talking about the fact that there's a shonen and he's jumping.
God. Please! It hasn't even been... How long have we been doing this for? It hasn't even been 5 minutes and you're already doing the worst jokes you possibly could. But yeah, speaking of not reading manga, because we are trying to read Shonen Jump every week and not every series is like some series are super popular and they have like 500 chapters and we're not gonna read all of that. We do not have the time. And some other series are just starting and they're not very popular yet, or they're the kind of GOG manga series that just don't do very well with Western readers. So the translations aren't very available. So we're not gonna read that either because we can't.
I mean, we're gonna look at them.
We're gonna look at them. We're not gonna read them.
We're still gonna rag on them.
We're still gonna rag on them.
So,
yeah.
This magazine comes with 2 posters.
Yes, it does.
Least
it has a very, very nice Psyche poster. It's really colorful. It's also very dynamic. It's got nice crisp lines. It's the kind of poster I really like to have in my room, even though I don't even like Psyche, you know?
I really enjoy Psyche, but I'm looking at this poster, right, and I'm like, I recognize 2 characters, and I'm pretty much caught up on Psyche, save for a few chapters, and they do the joke where they bring in completely random characters and have them like, oh, thank you for getting us to the top 100, and Psyche's like, who are these guys?
So that's incredible, and now I regret not reading Psyche.
It might be a joke. I don't know. I doubt it because I recognize like a character, so I guess.
Even without, it's just a nice generic anime poster, right?
It is. Speaking of posters, the second poster is
some big titty bitches. Those are some big titty bitches.
Those are some reasonably sized tickle biggies. Uh,
These are some tickle biggies. You could rest your head on those.
this poster bothers me. Like,
I think this is both for We Never Learn and the other one. What's it called? Let me check my
uh,
notes. Uh,
Yuragi
Yuragi
so no
Sono
Yunasan.
Yunasan.
I know it's definitely for Yuragi no
Because you
Yuragi
got
so no Yunasan.
the guy from Yuragi-san, but you got the guy from We Never Learn and the girl from We Never Learn.
Well, I can guarantee you got the girl from Yuragi so because you know she's a ghost. So I guess they're both. They decided no, this is the time we'll represent both ecchi shows, and I hate this. This is a poster I would not put on my wall out of shame. And I'm like, I like my dirty stuff, but not on the wall. And not on the...
I have a really nice poster that came with one of my vinyl records that I would like to have it on my wall, but I live with my parents and that poster features boobs in a dong. It's a really nice poster. It's very artistic, but I can't.
Well, this isn't artistic. This is just boobs.
I couldn't put there's no place in my room that I could put it where no one would casually see it.
This is straight up fan service.
Oh yeah, but more on those manga later when we rag on them. So this week's Shonen Jump starts with Haikyuu. But first let's just it starts with Haikyuu first. You get the nice color page. I'm not the biggest fan of Haikyuu's color pages, but they do it does a very nice job of using the orange of the uniforms.
Yes, they sure do use colors on the color page.
Because if you look at this, you see that most of the colors are really muted, very realistic colors. Then you have the spots of orange on their uniforms. But you also have a spot of orange and a spot of complementary blue on the first panel. You do not know a single thing about art.
No, I do, and like, I'm pretty impressed that not only did they manage with the muted colors, not only did they manage to make the orange pop out, but the black in the uniforms also stands out, except for the last panel. Like
it's really good, which is I actually don't like Haikyuu's art that much, but this is a really nice color page. This is a sort of color page it is.
Like
I was opening Shonen Jump and I saw this. It was just
the amount of attention they're like putting into the colors really makes me question why they decided to go with black for the last background. You know.
No, please elaborate.
I don't know. Again, I really, I think the black uniforms.
Are you questioning it in like a way of I like this, but I don't understand why they're doing this, or like this is confusing and I would like to burn it?
No, I like the black in their uniforms, right?
Yeah.
And I don't like how it's just like they don't really use the black in the backgrounds. I don't know.
Art, you know?
Art is sure is something. Yeah, getting into...
It also has a very nice opening color page. I mean, opening cover page. That's in color. Yeah.
It's like Christmas.
In Japan.
Whoa. You know what I love about Christmas?
Gifts?
No.
That's not what you said yesterday.
the ability to spend time with my lovely family. That's a joke. That's the joke.
Welcome to Weekly Jumpcast, the most depressing shonen manga podcast in the entire YouTubes.
It's,
I really
uh,
like the white work on the page. I assume these are still done traditionally. So this is probably like acrylic paint or even just whiteouts. It's just yes. But moving on to the ad
yeah,
section, there's a bunch of. If you've never picked up the Raws for Shonen Jump, I would advise you to just see like all the ads and all the tidbits that never make it into like Western releases or fan
none
releases.
of that. None of that. It's not important. I'm gonna shonen jump straight into the most important thing in this entire magazine. It's an ad for a shonen jump brand fidget spinner.
That's apparently customizable.
Yeah, it comes with all these centerpieces with the different protagonists from each series, and it's pretty good. You know, I actually do own a fidget spinner.
Yes, you do, Spark. Yes, you do.
It's completely ironic,
Sure, it
and
is, Spark.
the fact that I actually own it is a fact that brings me much despair. I told myself that if I found one for sale for like less than $1, I'd get it, and I did. Now I have to live with my decisions.
This is
Actually,
completely out of topic.
what? No, actually, fuck the stigma. Ball bearings are great. Who doesn't love ball
Ball bearings
bearings?
are great. I also of note, it's apparently Shonen Jump's 50th birthday, which I assume. I assume it started in 69,
Happy,
68.
happy,
That wasn't a sex joke. I'm just bad at math. Why are you humming?
happy birthday.
Damn it. But moving on to Haikyuu. Spark, what did you think of this week's Haikyuu chapter?
Uh, okay, so I'm a pretty big fan of Haikyuu.
Right,
The anime mostly.
right.
I think this is the first time I actually uh paid any degree of attention to the manga, and I gotta agree with you in that the artwork is really something. Like, uh, it has some great shots.
Yeah,
Uh,
I have some issues with Haikyuu's art. Keep in
when
mind that I didn't back read. I was caught up with Haikyuu, but then I stopped reading for a while, and I was too lazy to back read.
uh,
And I don't know, there are some shots in like
oh,
this
the
chapter
last
in
yeah, the
what?
last pages are like amazing,
Yeah,
like
it's got
straight up.
really great shots, but some of the like less important panels are kind of derpy.
Yeah, like
I don't think
uh,
it's something you'd usually notice by reading, but a lot of
here
panels feel a little like scratchy and a little. It feels a little rushed at points.
I like when they're in motion. When they're in motion,
Oh
it
yeah,
works. There's some.
this is
We got
great.
some sharp boys.
Some great dynamic like moves and like um which page was this? The page where like one of the twins is gonna you see like his back and he's gonna like serve right and then his face is all like stretched and his tongue is kind of out and his arm is shooting out. It's just A plus.
Yeah, but
It's just a
at the same
good
time,
scene.
when they're still like on page 48, what's going on with his head? He's just like forehead.
Speaking of like page 48, it really bugs me that the bystanders cheering for the teams are like drawn slightly more realistic than anyone else.
You know, it's like someone grabbed his normal face
You're
and
still going on about that.
and then slightly squeezed it by the shin, so the top of the head like inflates a bit.
Oh, it doesn't look bad, but it looks slightly off.
I mean, yeah, if I was at enough of a distance, that sweat could look like scarring.
I thought you were gonna say something completely different.
And like I apologize to Haikyuu fans that follow the manga closely, uh, and like I'm pretty sure this is an important game, and we'll get there eventually. But we're starting on issue number 1, and we're still working our way through stuff. So for right now, what I can say about what's actually happening is mainly as a sports manga, it's kind of hard to follow
There's definitely sports happening.
There's definitely sports happening, but like things like baby steps. I follow baby steps uh, way better than I can follow this. Even the anime itself, I can follow what's going on really well. Uh, but
Here's the thing about Haikyuu. I was caught up with Haikyuu, and then I stopped reading for a while. And when I jumped back in, it felt like nothing had changed. They're still in the same game. Which usually I wouldn't have a problem with because, it's shonen manga. Things tend to get drawn out a bit, but it literally feels like nothing happens.
I gotta say though, for all the bad things, I have to say on the manga, and like I wasn't invested. I'm not familiar with the story where it is. I couldn't follow the game. It's not the game, but the chapter itself in terms of the gameplay. But like that, those end pages were
Oh, that ending is
high,
beautiful. It's like
amazing.
from the moment the shot is like going in past what's his name? The guy with the little blonde lock on his hair. The tiny
Oh,
motherfucker.
oh yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
is that even what happened? I don't even remember anymore.
no, the
I'm
thing
ta-
is, Hinata got the ball, and like
Yeah,
Hinata never gets the ball.
the moment the ball goes past the people who are trying to block it at the front, and it goes back to Hinata, and you can't see it's Hinata at first, and then the other like it's like, is it the spread? It is a spread, and you flip the page and you see just the arms, and then your eyes trawl to the next page, and there's Hinata, and you can tell what's happening. The motion is so good. There's like
And it's like,
four
wait,
four panels
this
to
this
do
is
that motion of him actually getting the ball and falling back. Ah, it's so good.
this isn't the tiny motherfucker I expected to get the ball.
And then even like the next pages with everyone's reactions,
I mean,
and the metaphor with like the mountain.
almost everyone's reactions.
These last pages make up
Yeah,
for all the dodgy arts in the rest of the chapter.
yeah, I agree. If it has finishes like that,
I can tell that
I
like
I would
the
be a
author
bit pissed
probably
for them.
put most of the effort into the end and probably had to rush some stuff.
Yeah, and you're an art. I can tell that.
I
You're
am a
not an
comic
artist.
artist. I rush lots of things.
Okay, but like on page 59.
By the way, when we say pages, we mean the pages of the Raws,
Yeah.
because we have the entire magazine open.
So and the cover counts as one. So yeah.
It's not just the cover that counts as one. I think there's also like the beginning pages might count as something, because I think 42 in page count was equivalent to 49 in file name. But go on.
Yes. So if you guys wanna,
If you guys want to follow along,
yeah,
get the
right
Raws
now,
yourself, because we do not condone piracy.
yeah, but right now, I'm gonna be talking about what for me is page 59, and it's literally the last page of Haikyuu. And in the top right corner, there's that mouth. Let me tell you.
It's a big ass mouth, but it fits the mood of the page.
Oh, it does, but it also fits a lot of things in them. And I'm not even saying anything dirty. Like, just,
No, it could definitely fit like you know, a fist.
Probably, yeah. I was going for a fist. Could probably
a soda bottle, a small Subaru,
a small pumpkin.
the entire planet of Pluto.
Excuse me.
No, please don't start about planets. Please, that was just a joke.
It's not a planet.
Okay, I don't care.
Fucking misidentifying Pluto.
Maybe Pluto wants to identify as a planet. Who
What?
am I to
No.
Who am I? Who am I to like what?
No, who like? Oh, I guess Pluto is not a planet. Oh, Pluto will always be a planet to me. I'll always consider Pluto a planet. What if Pluto doesn't want to be considered a planet? Have you thought about that?
I mean, Pluto can't tell us, and also I don't care. But anyway.
Going straight on to Promised Neverland.
Yeah. The Promised Neverland surprised me. Because I actually back read a little, and now I'm actually interested in reading the entire thing.
So, I've only read this one chapter, and like this type of manga.
Oh, I definitely if you just read this one chapter, I definitely recommend you back read when you can.
I am. Here's the thing: the type of manga I've been shown here, kind of. Usually, it's walks a fine line, you know, because on this, so this chapter, it's about a bunch of demons, and they're gonna go on a hunt for human kids.
Yeah,
it's pretty dark.
Yeah,
and like. This kind of manga, if it leans too much on themes of like, not even gore, just like human suffering and like a bunch of people suffering and the demons taking pleasure in people suffering, that really screws with me, and I hate those.
Like,
but
from what I back read, there's definitely like human suffering, but it's also very much a message of hope. Like,
yeah, but like
I'm not gonna like say that you're gonna like it, but it's definitely like it's not just everyone's suffering.
No,
it's not. It's not Death Note. It's a dark manga, but it's not like
Death Note.
I mean, it's not because Death Note is like your protagonist is unlikable, your antagonist is unlikable.
No, that's not what I mean with like suffering. And like I can deal with like environments of overall misery, but like if following this chapter you see a chapter where it's uh, a bunch of demons torturing a bunch of human kids and killing them off one by one, and you watching them die without being able to do anything. That fucks me up. That's really frustrating. I'm gonna want to punch demons in the face, and I won't be able. And like that really pisses me off. You know that one movie about um, the the author that gets stuck with his biggest fan on like some winter lodge or something, and in
You
the middle
mean
of
Misery by Stephen King?
yes,
That
yes,
yes, I
yes,
really like that book.
yeah. I've once upon a time a schoolmate of mine decided to make a presentation on on that book, and he found that the best way to do that was to bring a bunch of movie clips or the entire movie. I don't remember which he did, but
This
it
is
was
incredibly
something.
out of topic.
No. I'm gonna wrap this back up. And like, there's the scene where the fan just breaks off the writer's legs,
Yeah.
and it's really graphic. And
I've actually never seen the movie.
those kinds of scenes where people are just suffering.
I don't
And
think
like,
I don't think this is like a torture porn manga.
yeah,
It's
that's
not.
the thing.
It's
But
very there's like suffering, but I don't think it's focused on the suffering.
yeah,
It's very
that's
much like
that's
kind of a message of hope style thing.
yeah, that's the other thing. When the mangas and shows that I watch do manage to walk that line, I really enjoy themes of Lovecraftian horror of humans aren't the be all end all, and they have to rely on actually, things like shonen posturing, determination, teamwork, or other things to
I don't think
persevere.
it's shonen posturing if they're actually in a shonen manga. Then it's
Well,
just being a main character.
yeah, but and at the same time, like uh, to everybody who's actually enjoying
To
Promised
everyone
Neverland,
listening at home,
yeah, that actually is a fan of Promised Neverland. I advise you to go look up Dolly Kill Kill. Like this chapter made me want to go back and actually get caught up on Dolly Kill Kill.
but back on the actual chapter we're reviewing. So like, it's a really interesting manga, and even if I hadn't back read, I think that if I picked up Shonen Jump after like a year and I hadn't read any of the chapters with The Promised Neverland, if I picked up this issue of Shonen Jump and I read this, I would want I would be invested in this manga. It's really
Yeah,
good. It has a good hook.
yeah, it looks pretty good.
But here's my one problem with The Promised Neverland.
Okay.
The demons look awesome. The backgrounds look they're not super amazing like you'd see in One Piece or something, but they're pretty good.
I
The
don't.
the human character art bothers me. It's like sometimes you get really nice pages, like the one with Emma throwing the axe at the demon. It's so dynamic. It's well drawn. You can see all the effort that was put into it. But for a lot of the human characters, it's just weird and scratchy. And I I might be mistaken, but I think that the artist for this manga is pretty new. I think this is their first publication, and just it doesn't feel as polished as I would hoped. Because the rest it looks good, but it doesn't look polished.
Uh, See, I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, I look at some of the art of these rando kids that are being hunted, right?
Yeah.
And it's pretty plotty, but at the same time, I can appreciate that in like uh dark dark setting manga with like some bulgy-eyed, scared-looking kids.
Oh,
Looks
the actual expressions are fine. My problem is more something like page 66. If you look at like the very last panel, it's like the artwork is like it's a little scratchy. Some of the lines aren't quite right. One of the eyes isn't drawn as well as the other.
mm,
But the panel above it looks pretty good. The panel below it looks less good. It's like it's not bad art, but it's inexperienced art.
okay. I can see that, especially on the same page with the nose. What's going on with the nose up there? Like, okay, yeah, I can see what you say.
Yeah,
As
like
for the
the same page, like the nose changes in shape slightly, and also the chin, and also the hair. It's like it doesn't look. It looks enough to for you to know it's the same character, but it's not
uh,
super consistent. Which is also not something I can really complain about because my art isn't super consistent either.
as for the demons, I really like
The demons are so
the
good.
the design of the demons, and that's why I don't like the design of the demons.
Are they too spooky for you?
Oh no, like there's a lot going on with them, but like I can see them moving. You know,
Mm,
I mean, the cloaked the cloaked demon is pretty fun, right?
yeah.
But I don't really like his face. You know, mm,
I think it's very like it's very prone to tastes because all of the demons are like really different and really distinct.
yeah,
But I
like
like that they have like similar design elements. You can tell they're the same species of sorts.
but some of those design elements, I think the heads bother me. You know,
In the demons?
yeah.
Mm,
Uh, and the worst thing is not they don't bother me in the way they should bother me. They bother me in like tiny eyes look goofy. You know, I
yeah.
I, I, I like the
I mean, to be
stripped
fair,
face. I
things
like
that
the
are slightly goofy are often like also kind of scary.
yeah, but not this. You know, I like the jaws. I like the teeth, the eyes. I can't.
Yeah, but
They don't scare me.
anyway, this it was a good chapter of The Promised Neverland. It sets up like the conflict and the arc that's going to. It's. I mean, I guess we're in the middle of arc, but we know
Yeah.
what's. We're expecting what's gonna happen.
So next up, the second best manga in the entirety of Shonen Jump. We have, of course, One Piece.
Are you gonna say the best is Doctor Stone?
I'm gonna say the best doctors.
That is a surprising statement.
Really?
Oh, don't. I mean, we can get into it later, but
It's
don't
obvious.
don't get me wrong. Doctor Stone is really good, but it hasn't been running long enough to be the best manga in Shonen Jump.
Like obviously, as you know, all my statements are factual and objective. Obviously, this is not sarcasm. So when I say that the best manga is Doctor Stone, it isn't like my opinion or personal taste or anything. It's facts, and
It's
you should
just
feel
facts.
bad.
I feel bad every day.
You should feel
But
bad
back
for
to One
disagreeing
Piece.
with me. Yeah, back to One Piece.
One Piece is in chapter 887.
Damn, son.
To give some background information, I have been reading One Piece since I was in 6th grade.
Yes, and I also have history with it.
And I stopped reading for a long time because, uh,
Oh, the fuck, what?
Dressrosa? I think it was
Dressrosa happened.
I know. I just think it just started getting really slow, and
Yeah,
it's still like one of my favorite manga ever. And
Dress
the
Rosa.
anime got worse and worse and worse. And so I am not actually. I think I might have been further along than Dressrosa, but I just stopped for a while, and some things bother me about One Piece, and etc. 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 But
But
I have
I'm
I
pretty
have
sure.
what?
See, I think you underestimate how long Dress Rosa was.
It was really long.
Further along than Dress Rosa is this.
Okay, what happened exactly
So you got Dress
was
Rosa, and Luffy beat the shit out of Don Flamingo.
okay. I didn't
Then they
get that
went
far.
to yeah. Then they went to the. It was the zoo arc, not
Because
zoo
the
with
thing
two
is, I
O's.
was keeping along with it via chapter summaries, so
And
I'm
like
not exactly sure what happened
they
along the way, but I have an
yeah.
idea.
The important thing is they got a hot furry chick.
We all love hot fresh chicks. In any case, I have no
But
idea what's happening in One
actually,
Piece right now.
I could complain. I could complain extensively about, and I have complained extensively about the lack of variety in female body types in One Piece.
Yeah, it's
You have
it's so frustrating.
you have two. You have the
You have
two
hot
olives on
ladies.
two olives balanced on uh
A
chopstick,
toothpick.
a toothpick, yeah. And then you have the what I like to call fat triangle.
Oh, it's so frustrating because One Piece art is my favorite art in Shonen Jump, and it's so frustrating that it and you know that Oda can't draw good female characters because Amazon Lily happened, and
Hmm.
yet
Yeah.
I'm just
Uh,
you
so
don't even have to make them like make you could make them all pretty and still have character variety, but you don't.
so
Anyway,
we're
enough about big titty bitches.
okay.
Um,
Uh,
I just
here's two,
yeah,
here's two things. So first of all, I'm also not exactly caught up. I will be caught up on One Piece, but like I'm only
eventually.
I'm only somewhat aware of what's happening right now.
I have no idea what exactly is happening,
Yeah,
but this was so fucking fun.
I was kind of thrown off a loop because
Also, apparently, Lola and Mafia guy got married and have a kid.
oh no, they already you recognize the chick, right? It was the chick from Thriller Bark.
You mean the chick that I actually named as opposed to uh Mafia guy? Yes, I recognize her.
I'm sorry, I don't know her name, so I thought you were also doing a bit. Here's the thing, right? Um,
Was it actually revealed that Lola is Big Mom's daughter?
I think so.
Because that was a
Um,
big running theory when I was super into One Piece.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
I know they're like on the end step of Sanji's escape. I'm not sure why the cake is this important.
Me neither, but it's fucking fun.
Yeah,
I don't like I literally don't know what's happening, but this is so much fun.
I mean,
There's
yeah,
there's a
except
there's a seal in a top hat on a ball that matches a top hat, and the seal is pulling the cake,
and then Sanji kicks it,
and then Sanji kicks it.
and like the cake looks awful.
It's it's an amorphous blob of cake.
Yeah, but it's not just fun. Like, uh, I'm assuming you guys know we're spoiling the shit out of everything. Like, so someone dies,
Right.
which doesn't happen a lot in One Piece. What whenever it happens, it's an entire thing. And even though I know little about these characters, I can see that it
Oh,
was an
it's
entire
so
thing.
emotional. It's like
Yes.
you don't know. Neither of us know what's happening, but we still feel it.
Yeah, there was just a grandpa that sacrificed themselves
It's like
for their
we
grandkid, and
I
like,
took notes on
uh,
like all the manga we read because obviously, and the only things I wrote for One Piece were good as usual, whimsical, and fun. It's like I don't even need to know what's happening. It's just I'm so happy with this, but
yeah, and
also emotional, also sad, but also it's so fun.
we're about to go into a fight with Big Mom, apparently. So
This is
that's the thing.
it's gonna be great.
Yeah. So
I have like one complaint about this chapter of One Piece.
okay.
Do you see? There is again. We're not sure what's happening, but they're next to like Lola and Sanji and everyone. There's a chick with a chef's hat and an apron, and I thought that was Nami because it looks exactly like Nami. And then
What page is this?
we get to the last page, and there's a shot of apparently Nami not wearing a hat. It's
What?
the last page,
Yeah, that's not Nami.
but it looks exactly like Nami, which brings us
What
back
page
to
do
our
you
first
see?
point really well.
Yeah.
The last page you got Nami on top and the chick on the bottom,
Yeah.
which also sounds really good.
That's the kind of sandwich I'm into.
There's because we're not actually caught up with the plot. There's not much to say about One Piece besides the fact that this is fucking awesome. And Oda needs to draw different girls.
Yeah.
Do you want to move forward?
Oh yes.
I'm gonna hand you the reins to this one because
So
yeah, go, just go.
I love this manga, and I don't know the name of this manga because
Kimetsu no
it's
Yaiba.
yeah. I just wrote in my notes Oni manga because honestly, it's all I need to know, and like
You're not good at taking
ah,
notes.
see. So I'm
You
gonna
can't say it's like, oh, it's all I need to know, and then forget the name of the manga.
in terms of name, but like I'm gonna list off my notes and then talk about. So we're in middle. Okay, so we're kind of in the middle of the confrontation with the incest boss. Why do
Can
I
you
say
repeat
this?
that?
Well, we're in the middle of the confrontation with the incest boss.
Yes.
So
My
he's one
favorite
of
kind of boss.
yeah, he's one of the. So basically, if you're not caught up with the manga, there's like 12 really OP powerful woo demons. Uh, and they are numbered, and you know they're numbered because they carved their numbers into their eyeballs. The big bad demon did. And like, this is the lowest of the upper six. And all of the lower six have been culled because they're too weak. So I like how the manga like sets up like these are the big bats, and you guys have to kill them and stuff. Um, this manga really sets up a great universe, but at the same time, it's really direct with the progression. It kind of pisses me off, like how you have story progression. They go killing the demons, and you find out about the world, but the main characters are like, you know, they're fighting fights um, that should be like high level fights, but they're not really recognized as high level fighters. Uh, and yeah, that kind of pissed me off. And those are some things about the manga. About this chapter itself, it's a fight, and the fight choreography is amazing. I love the art; it's beautiful. You have problems with the art, right?
I do not like the art. It's like
Do you not like the art overall, or like
I don't
the
I don't like
character
I
designs?
don't like any of it. It's just some panels look good, but overall it looks really awkward. It's like the panels are busy. It's hard to read. It just sort slash short slash short slash short. It's like sound effects and it's hard to read. I don't. It's hard for me to know what's going on. There's like page 106. There's like the guy's doing something with blades and there's debris, and then it's like sword
The
flashes.
guy is basically a living rug, and he can turn his body into a rug, and the rug cuts. But he also has some sickles,
It's
so
just it's
he's
and
like part of the reason why it might look confusing to you is because again, you're not too familiar with the
no,
manga,
it's
and they're
not
like
that. It's just
that.
even if I knew their powers, just
No. That's the thing. You know how the anatomy of the bad guy is all fucked up.
that's not something I have a problem with.
Yeah, I'm just saying. He can. Demons in this thing can basically wiggle about. There's
There's
some
some
wiggle
wiggly
boys.
boys. No, it's just
uh,
it's hard to read, and
it is, but
it's
I think
it's a very weird art style.
it
Like
is, but I appreciate they're going
I appreciate that they're
out of
trying
the
something
norm.
different, but even when trying something different doesn't mean it's gonna be good.
Yeah, but
And
personally,
the character
uh,
designs are really awkward.
I love the character designs.
I don't understand some of these design choices.
I love how a lot of them looked just really fucked up.
It's
Just
just,
something looks off, and I like it. You know?
I mean, it's not even that I understand why something looks off. It's just looking at these. I mean, there's some character designs I like. I like the design of forehead guy. That's a
Forehead.
nice. It's a nice.
Assault pig. Assault pig. Assault pig. Assault pig.
Just a nice. That's a nice, simple design
Yeah.
that I can instantly recognize, and it doesn't have any clutter or weird mabobs. Just and like flipping through it. There's barely any backgrounds. The backgrounds are all like drowning in speed lines and
They're
random
going.
bullshit. You can't get like a feel for the setting of the fights.
To be fair, they're going really fast.
Because things happen, things are splashed. It's just a lot of things happening, and then
Yeah, a lot of things are happening. To be fair,
it's like character expressions are super bland. I just
that is true. I'll give you that. I really like the
I
art
can't
direction in
jive with
this.
this.
I really do jive with this. Um, yeah, I really like it.
Do you want to talk about like plot that happens in this chapter since you're like up to date with it?
Yeah. So basically, here's the thing I don't like about this uh, confrontation, and why I can't really talk about it in terms of plot wise. Basically, they got they got dragged out here by the guy with all the jewels to go hunt basically a demon that captured his wives here on the brothel district. So they had this entire thing of trying to figure out what was going on and where the demon was and who the demon was eating. But then it turns out that like uh, the demon they were fighting all this time was like uh, the sister to the main demon. But not only is it the sister, they share a body.
Mm-hmm.
So all this time we've been there's been this confrontation with this one demon chick, but now it's like, oh, but the real bad is this Gamsey looking ass motherfucker.
Did
And
you just call him a Gamsey looking ass motherfucker?
yes, and like, so in terms of plots, it's literally just, oh, the boss appeared, let's fight.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
I guess for someone who likes this art, it'd probably be a good fight scene, but I can't get over it.
yeah, if you can't get over the clutter, I guess it could be hard to follow through what's happening. But yeah, the plot is solid. I hope I can, but I hope I can talk more about it on later issues. But like, it's really simple in terms of follow through. They go to a place, they check out what's happening, they fight a demon, and then they're done. And I kind of like that.
Yep, it sure is a comic. Do you have anything else to say about this, or do you just wanna move forward to Doctor Stone?
No, I'm pretty done here. Like, I'll be honest, I fucked up.
What did you fuck up with?
uh, yeah, I was reading the all the notes I took. Was for the last issue. I got the issue wrong, and I did read this issue, but like, for specifically for this manga, I did read this one, but I didn't take any notes. So I'm like
I
talking
also
about some things.
I also
I
back read, and there I don't think it makes a lot of difference. I don't
no,
think
but like,
enough happens.
yeah, but I wanted to talk about the sister character and stuff, and I don't have as much to go on.
You can talk about the sister character next week.
Yeah.
Because now, let's go on to a manga I actually like.
Oh, this is so great.
First off, this color page is fucking amazing.
It is. It is. Dr. Stone,
This is, I
everybody.
assume that this was traditionally inked and then digitally colored because I think that's what a lot of mangakas do.
I don't know. It's just great.
It's just really good.
Ah, these are some great colors.
I just we love Doctor Stone,
It's so good.
and like I hope that in a few years Doctor Stone is just like known as like the super one of the super cornerstones of Jump. I hope it
Yeah.
also gets an anime soon.
I
Not
hope it gets
soon,
a good
not
anime.
soon, because
Yeah.
we definitely want we don't want any filler. I hope it gets an anime like Hiroaka, like
Yeah.
seasonal instead of long running.
And like, so if you guys don't know about Dr. Stone, the basic idea is you grab your usual shonen formula where you're like, yeah, willpower. Oh, I'm gonna fight for friends and stuff. And then instead, you kind of do that, but instead you go like, fuck yeah, science. Oh, I love science. It's great, and I do love science. So in the beginning, it's kind of like, no, not only in the beginning. Most of the manga is like this Bear Grylls type thing with more inventions and stuff. It's like, if anyone has ever seen the YouTube channel Primitive Technology, where there's a guy in the middle of the forest creating, you know, a bunch of houses and furnaces and basically technology out of scratch. It's like that pumped to 11. But right now we're in the middle of a tournament arc, so that kind of slides over because this tournament arc came kind of out of nowhere, but it's still awesome.
And it's been pretty short, so like you can't blame them much. I
Like,
hope that I hope that in future episodes of this podcast, we don't have to spend several hours just talking about each individual manga, because we
and
will
how,
be following it through every week.
yeah, and here's the thing, Dr. Stone for next issue already leaked, and I already read it because I love it. So
Did you take notes on it at least?
oh no,
You're bad at your job.
I'll do it later. Here's the thing. So the tournament arc already ends. It ends next issue. So it was really short. It was what, 5 chapters, 6 maybe.
Mm. I want to start with talking about Dr. Stone's art.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because what the thing that most consistently wows me is just how good this looks. Look at the panel composition on the first page with like chromes popping out of his panel into the panel with the audience reactions.
Yeah.
The line work is amazing.
The face is so detailed in a
It's
panel
detailed. It's detailed, but it still remains in the style you'd expect for the manga.
and it doesn't have to be. It's the kind of panel where it doesn't really have to be that detailed.
It's in the little hatching on the ropes, the details in the hair. It's just, and the expression. It's just, oh, I just love this artwork.
No, and like there's a panel later on that I would hesitatingly, because I don't have perfect memory, but I would go ahead and say it's the best page in this entire issue of Shonen Jump, and it's just a detailed face.
Tell me when you get to it. You have the Ross in front of you. We can actually
we can. I kind of wanted to go through all of the pages, but let's just jump over there. Page 138. It's really simple, and in terms of art and story progression, it's amazing.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. I would frame this.
It's not even like it's detailed, but it's not super realistic detailed. It just fits the tone of the manga so well.
It's so great.
And the blood splatter is just
it's really good.
There's little specks on the hand from the blood. You see all the little smudged lines on his face, but it's still recognizably like this manga, you know. I think what a lot of like manga struggle with is that when it comes to doing a panel that's like more detailed, sometimes it might end up looking like it just doesn't fit in the chapter.
Yeah.
This is just a great chapter. It's like it was funny, it was emotional, it was smart.
And but they prepare you for this because they do such amazing work with facial expressions. Like, I could go back and say like, okay, page 130, great facial expression on Senku. Page 132, great facial expression on the asshole whose name I don't remember.
Gan? I think it's Gan.
Page 134, amazing facial expression on Senku.
Everyone?
On everyone.
Every single one of these expressions is fantastic.
No, like, and I could go on 136.
Stop! Don't go on. I have to edit this.
But here's the thing: any of these single expressions in another manga would be the highlights of facial expressions for that chapter, that entire chapter. And here it's just like one after the other after the other. And like uh page 138, I gushed over it, but there's a similar kind of I would make a poster out of this page on 141. And like it's not always like this. This I think this is a particularly good chapter, but like
Dr. Stone just pulls the right punches at the right time.
It does. It does. It's an entire ride, but it's not just art, right? Uh, the flow is great. The flow of story, the pacing, um, is great. The character beats are great. Like we get an amazing scene from Senku just doing some quick maths, some fast maths, some calculations that are legit impressive.
It's a good time.
And it's like it's not even one of those things like the thing I love about the calculations Senku does here is just it would usually be so useless, but he's like such a at the same time vast he has such a vast reservoir of knowledge and is so good at like computing stuff. It just it's a great character beat for him. Then Chrome has a great character beat when he sets magma on fire.
It's a good fucking chapter.
He sets magma
I'm sorry,
on fire.
we already have an hour of recording and we're not through like half the list.
I want to talk more about Dr. Stone though.
You can talk more about Dr. Stone next week.
Okay.
But yeah,
Then,
Dr. Stone, we already know what's happening in the next chapter, but you know, it's like the story is moving forwards at a good pace, and I'm excited to see where things are gonna go because it's a good manga, and
I almost started talking about next chapter right now.
Yeah, but let's move forward to a chapter that's not out in English.
Even better, it's a chapter that's not out in English of a gag manga. So
it's not very funny when you can't read it. You know Psyche. What's happening here?
Okay. So first page I see that's Psyche's brother and he's in Psyche's body. Usually Psyche can freely do that. He can astral project and he can do basically anything within very specific limits. It's one of the great things about his character, but like he looks uncomfortable, so I would assume his brother did some technology stuff that's his thing to take over Psyche's body because he looks pretty uncomfortable with this.
There's a diagram on page 147.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Psyche is astral projecting while his brother takes over his body. That's pretty much what I guess.
We can't read this because none of us speak Japanese. But Psyche ends up with his clothes off, which is incredibly worrying.
Where?
Page Psyche the body, not Psyche the conscience.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I'm sure this would be funny, but we can't read it.
No, like
It's also, is it also not funny?
It's not that it's not funny. It's Psyche has a very specific relationship with his brother. At least his brother has a very specific obsession with Psyche. You know?
Yes.
So you've read the chapters with his
brother? I haven't read anything. I'm not a fan of GOG manga.
No, this one is pretty good, but Basically, I think his brother can only get off if he's beat by a psychic on games and other challenges. This isn't a joke.
It's it looks like a weird manga.
I think it's pretty much canon actually.
I have not been able to read the actual dialogue. I don't know. I can't say much, but I have a problem with Psyche's art.
Okay, what problem do you have with Psychizar?
It's kind of stiff.
Yes.
It's very. I know it's not expected to be super dynamic because it's not a bottle manga, but just I don't know. It's like,
I particularly love how Psyche is stiff because he is stiff.
but if everyone else is also stiff, then it doesn't work.
Okay, that's true.
It's just like everyone's in like generic poses, and even the more dynamic movements are still stiff, which is always something that bothers me.
I'm pretty fine with it. I'm actually a pretty big fan of Psyche.
It's a gog manga. It doesn't need like the best art, but you know, I have nothing else to talk about.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're running long anyway.
yeah.
Just go straight on ahead to
Let's
Black
go to
Clover.
the best worst manga on this entire magazine.
Oh,
I'm
it's
s-
so good.
I'm so
It's so
confused
good.
about Black Clover because I haven't
Okay,
read it yet. I'm going to.
so
From what I
uh,
know, it's not good, but it's
it's not.
not bad.
No, it is bad, and that's why it's good. Like
uh, Incredibly
if
generic shonen manga.
for anyone
It's store
reading,
brand One Piece, store brand
yes.
Naruto, pretty much.
Oh, we actually have quite a bit to talk about on arts
Oh
in
yeah,
this
here
chapter.
here's
So
the thing.
wait, no, before that,
Okay,
I wanna sell my
okay.
piece. So everybody listening at home, you probably okay if your first experience with Black Clover is watching the anime, it's trash. I'll really admit it's trash. But like, at least give the manga a chance because the pace is so fast and it doesn't have filler like fucking anime. The only thing that saves this manga is that it's so fast you can just eat through it and skim over the bad parts, which is all plot ever, and just hit the regular shonen beats so quickly. It's like a
It's
pretty
like
good
it's
facsimile of
it's the
shonen.
fast food version of shonen manga.
Yes. Yes, it's exactly that. Like, uh, if One Piece is like a Gordon Ramsay brand burger with like
A Gordon Ramsay
caram,
brand.
yeah, he doesn't actually cook in all his restaurants. He has like 31 restaurants.
I mean, he
With
doesn't
like,
cook in them, but he probably at least comes up with the recipes.
yeah, but yeah, we're talking about uh caramelized onion, crispy baked bacon. It's just amazing. And then you have McDonald's. Like sometimes you don't want meat, you want processed fake burger meat.
That's
And
pretty
when you
much me
do
at all
want it,
times.
yeah, and when you want it, it's really good. And this is a Black Clover. Black Clover is fast food shonen, and I really appreciate that it exists.
Okay, here's my thing with this week's chapter of Black Clover. Again, I don't read Black Clover, so I don't know if we read the chapter. I didn't read anything else. I saw the anime, one episode. I know basic gist of the plot, but I'm not familiar at all with the manga or the art or the artist. Here's the thing: what the fuck is going on with these unfinished pages? It's I thought when I first read the Raws before I read the English version, and I thought, oh, is this like, are they making like an art style change to be like a magic thing? Is that what's happening? And then I read the chapter, and I don't think that's what's happening. I think these pages are just unfinished.
Yeah,
They're literally just pencil sketches, and it flips through finished and unfinished without rhyme or reason. I don't understand why. I guess the author was rushed and couldn't finish the actual chapter.
Uh, I think that's it. I think it's just unfinished because I could see them doing like a thing with the fire powers of badass fire lady, but like
I know
it's
that like
obviously not that.
I know that sometimes when authors like rush things to publish on the magazine, they're later corrected for the tankambon or for the published volumes. But that's usually small things like derpy faces or no backgrounds. This is just there's literally just pages. How many pages are there that just the
I
pencil
think it's
sketch?
like three, maybe
And
four. One, two, three, four. Yeah, four.
4 out of what 20 pages? That's
Yeah.
that's a lot. I I don't want to like bitch because I know that manga authors spend a lot of time working, but it's straight up just unfinished. Couldn't they? I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe they could have skipped the. I guess probably not. But they make
No,
these
it's
like
not.
so in advance. Don't they
It's
have
like half a
like?
chapter.
Don't they have like some one shots handy that they could publish instead?
I don't know. Something obviously went terribly wrong.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah.
Why should
So,
we like bitching over the unfinished pages over here and then someone comments with like, "Oh, the author of Black Clover is in the hospital," and then we'll feel like dicks.
as if we had people to comment.
Hey, you
We
never know.
don't.
You never know.
So I
I
actually
like
stopped.
I like the character designs.
The characters' designs are pretty great,
You
even
should say
though
the
main
character designs are
character,
pretty gay.
even though main character is straight up just. I already forgot his name. Is straight up Hinata from
Oh yeah,
uh,
it's like
Haikyuu.
Hinata clones seem to be really popular lately.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I love Badass Fire Lady.
These are good designs. Like Badass Fire Lady has like a distinct face that's not like generic pretty lady. The guy with the bandages is like it's like it's a good design. It's like not super inspired, but it's a good design. The
Mm.
other guy they're fighting against is also an interesting design, especially when it's finished and actually has the blacks and whites. I just like these character designs are really good, and then everything else is trash. I also have no idea what's going on in this chapter.
Basically, they're in a dungeon. I assume. I actually stopped reading when the plot caught up, and I had to read through it, and I was like, no. I read that because, as I said, fast food. When they were like trying to, oh, maybe you should have a salad. I'm like, no, no, I will not have a salad. Um, so they're literally collecting MacGuffin, summon a demon, I
Yeah,
think. But there's MacGuffins to be collected, and the
yeah,
MacGuffins are literally in dungeons.
yeah,
And like I know the MacGuffins aren't called MacGuffins, but the dungeons are called dungeons, and they're straight up in the dungeon right now. And the two factions are fighting each other. So for the MacGuffin, basically, that's the extent of it. There's nothing else. It's fast food.
I don't think we can talk anything else about Black Clover. There is not enough substance to
Yeah,
talk about it.
my
Let's go
my
to a manga that
notes.
actually surprised me.
Okay.
I liked Golem Hearts. I wasn't expecting to like Golem Hearts because it is incredibly generic looking.
Oh yeah, I really like Baby's First Fullmetal Alchemist.
I just because it's like what this is chapter 6. I read all 6 chapters,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
and
also caught up.
the art is incredibly generic.
It is.
But it's still it reminds me a lot of early One Piece.
I agree.
With
Like,
less, I mean, when early One Piece came out, One Piece's art was like really weird and ooh, it's not like anything else on the magazine. And then One Piece got huge and everyone copies One Piece, so it's you know, this is obviously more One Piece fairy tale inspired. And
I think
but
this has a lot of Full Metal Alchemist. I wasn't
that
joking.
too, that too. In terms of plot, but in terms of like the
Plot and world mechanics.
yeah, but the chapters with like his dad reminded me a lot of uh early One Piece. It has that emotional core. It has fun characters that you don't know much about the characters, but you wanna find out more.
Okay.
I also
Here's
yeah,
here's the thing.
yeah,
I like Golem.
yeah.
I like golems before this manga, and I like golems after this manga. I think they're a cool idea. You make a tiny little clay statue, and you put a paper slip in it, and it does shit for you. I think it's fascinating, and I love they built an entire world around this one thing. And I know it's shonen, so they'll build up on it, and eventually golems are going to basically be, you know, stand in for magic, do what you want. Naruto.
Are you okay?
Ninjutsu.
did you
Anyway,
did you like
um,
invoke the name of Naruto and had a sick fit?
yeah, no, but I really enjoy what they're doing with the worlds. But all the note, even though I really enjoy Golem Hearts, all the notes I took on it are negative.
Okay, let's let's
Uh,
let's hear the negative notes you took.
Main character is really annoying. His lack of world awareness and social fuckery isn't good. Like,
That's incredibly
there's
subjective.
there's like a, a limit to the spunky, uh, completely unaware, type of like naive character.
To be fair,
The
it's like it is a bit unfair because we've mostly
it
seen him as a kid.
Oh no, it's completely unfair, especially since Luffy was just as bad as he was starting out.
Yeah, I
Like,
he has a lot of room for growth, which is really important.
like,
If annoying right now.
yeah, right now in the manga, shouting "I am going to be the king of the pirates" out of the top of your lung actually has structural meaning, but I don't know. At the time, Luffy was just like spotting that, and I think this guy is saying, "I'm gonna be the world's um, second greatest
Sorcerer?
sorcerer, something. I don't remember
It's
the
something.
like 3 times each chapter, and it's starting to grate on me."
It will get better. At least I hope it will get better. This is
Yeah, no, I have high hopes for it.
it's been 6 chapters, so it has
My
promised, but at the same time,
my second note is emo rival is emo and can get away with murder.
did you not like the rival?
I like it's. I have the same problem with the rival that I have with the main character. Like, I know I can like this kind of character, but I don't like the cookie cutter approach it has right now. They need time to grow.
You think it's cookie cutter?
The emo character that's angry at everything and everyone because his dad or grandpa is the world's biggest alchemist and he lives in his shadow and he's gonna prove to the world.
No, like
No,
those are the thing is this is a much more violent character than you'd expect from that archetype.
I mean, yeah, but like at the same time, I have my own. problems with that. He just like imagine the main character was in Golem and he just died.
Yeah,
It's a reasonable assumption. So why can he just do that?
because he's an asshole and also the son of the greatest alchemist or whatever.
I mean, yeah, but you shouldn't be able to. Don't set up a world where people can just kill people.
Why not? Like that's an interesting world, and it's
No,
like
no, 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 no. That's an interesting world. That's a different world than the one they're pushing right here. Like, um, they're going for a. I think they're gonna like in One Piece when someone dies, it's an entire thing, right? But
right.
if someone died in Promised Neverland, it's like yeah, it's different kinds of settings. And this is I think this is going for more like One Piece than Promised
I'm
Neverland.
not sure. I think this might be aiming to be a little darker than One Piece. Not that One Piece isn't dark, but it's a little more, you know.
I mean,
There's
you
I
say
read
that, but
the
that just makes the main character seem even more out of place, you know.
but main characters that are out of place are good.
To a point, like in the first chapter, right,
Right.
where the other guy was basically gonna rape that 16-year-old girl.
Oh, the one shot?
Was the first one the one shot?
I
Yeah,
think the I think I have to check, but I think the
I think yeah, the one shot, right? So
yeah.
in the one shot, main character only moves to do something when the chick is like, oh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to leave my golem, which just got crushed, and my mom, and starts crying, right?
Yeah.
And like, you take that versus Luffy, right?
Yeah.
Luffy would turn around and start beating the shit out of the other guy 3 times over because Luffy doesn't understand what's going on. But when something's wrong, he gets it and gets pissed and starts busting shit. Like, I appreciate that in Luffy. I appreciate how he manages to not be like he doesn't give a fuck about like politics or whatever is going on around him. But like when people are like bad, when you're taking freedoms away from them, because Luffy's all about having freedom and going after dreams. When those things, those values are like being stepped on, Luffy's like, okay, I have to punch him. And like, uh, I also like how Oda balances the you can solve things just by punching, and then you're just not punching hard enough. Like that's complete bullshit. But it's a shonen manga. You have room for that bullshit. And like those values in Luffy, I don't see them in this character. This character, you know, oh,
I mean,
uh,
you say that, but also Luffy's values also led to things like letting a bunch of prisoners escape prison.
yeah.
I don't think we've seen enough of like this character to like make a judgment on that yet. You know what I think
Oh
is
no no no
gonna
no no.
you know what I think is gonna happen?
Well,
Right now he has no notion of right and wrong because he's basically raised by one guy and he's a weird golem creature and that got shipped off to someone who probably isn't the best moral role model. And it's probably gonna be a lot of like, shit's bad. What do I do about shit being bad? You know, it's more. It's gonna be less. I'm completely
yeah,
talking out of my ass,
you
but
are.
I feel
But
like it's gonna be more of like, where was I going with this? I completely forgot what I was gonna say.
yeah,
It's
like
gonna be more of like, this
Morality
character
exploration.
learn. It's not a character with strong convictions. It's a character that learns strong convictions.
Like again, it's really early to say any of this, and I've been really negative on it. But I really liked the manga so far, and like I'm just afraid it might have like tonal issues because I do agree it seems like it's kind of going for the dark sort of thing, but at the same time, it's also trying to leverage really light-hearted themes, and I don't think it's showing any promise of being able to put the two together. You know?
That's fair. It's like, besides the art being like super generic, it's mostly well accomplished. There's nothing
Yeah,
that like gives me pause like this looks wrong. It's okay.
and other than like uh, him meeting the rival, this chapter was entirely setting up the next tournament arc.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair, you know.
it is, but it's not something we talk about. You know.
Coming up next, though, we have everyone's favorite anime of whatever, Hiroaka.
What was that?
What?
Oh yes, I sure love my wherever in Boku no Hero
It's
Academia.
just, it's here's the thing about I love Boku no Hero Academia, but this because you're like in the denouement, denouement. You're That's the thing after the climax. Uh, you know, the thing. You're in the fallback from the big fight and the big
Yeah,
climax,
yeah.
and you have it's the art is awesome as usual. There's nothing much I can say there. It's very emotional. It's
A lot of things are
Mirio
great.
is being interesting. It's
Yeah.
just there's
Uh,
nothing super interesting happening right now.
I don't
Besides
agree.
besides the first few pages.
Yeah, the first few pages are important to me. You know,
They're important and I appreciate they're there, but
uh, I appreciate that there's stuff happening outside. I really appreciate that the police and Gran Torino are actually going out and doing stuff, and they're addressing issues as they go
it
by.
gives weight to the world.
I don't like the design of the monster that shows up.
It's a monster.
But yeah, but like
I can't really make a judgment out of one panel.
yeah, but I can see. I don't know. I don't think it was introduced properly because I can see there's gonna be cool stuff about it. How it talks, or at least has a radio strapped onto it. There's something interesting. But so because of that, I don't think it was introduced in the best manner. It's just like, oh, I'm huge in the monster. I have here. I like Gran Torino. I really like Gran Torino.
It's that one panel of Gran Torino was so cool.
Yeah. The thing about Gran Torino is like at first the author tried to do like a Yoda, clueless old guy, but also a great mentor thing, which I enjoy, but didn't kind of fit. And I think the author dropped like completely. Gran Torino is just now a capable hero.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that was mostly like decoy, you know. It's like
Yeah.
it wasn't super interesting, but it probably wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, and I love the characters here so much. I love anime Tintin. I love Deku. Anime Tintin is great.
Anime Tintin is great, but his like outlook on everything is really interesting, and I like
Yeah.
that like they're putting him out of the fight for now, but there's definitely like a possibility he'll come back.
I, I would like to see. them using anime Tintin as an opposite to Deku. Not in the way that oh, he's a villain now or a rival. That's bullshit. You already have Han McFace face for that.
You're
No,
so bad at
uh,
names.
the thing I find interesting about anime Tintin is he had an amazing quirk and he lost it versus Deku having no quirk and uh, getting an amazing one. And I kind of want to. I want Anime Tintin to be there to explore the things I think we're missing out on Deku actually having gotten a quirk.
Hmm.
You know, because at the beginning, I kind of wanted the manga where the kid with no quirk had to cope with that.
Now here's I've never liked that idea.
Like
Because what
I
the good thing about Boku no Hero Academia is that it's slightly more realistic than
no
yeah.
no I appreciate what you're telling. Like I agree that the way the story shaped out is better, but like I like the idea that they have Anime Tintin as a room to explore that if they want to.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, Even if they don't, I just think it's a good leverage.
It's otherwise in the chapter, unless there's something you want to talk about, I don't think there's.
No, as you said, we're winding down from the big fights. Pretty okay.
It sets up like a nice hook for the next chapters, and
Yeah,
it's you know it's a chapter. It fits the narrative. It doesn't do anything bad. It's enjoyable to read. It's just not like super hype. You know what
yeah.
this means, Spark?
What does this mean, Ezzy?
That we get to look at the harem series.
Yay!
So here's the thing about We Never Learn. I have no fucking idea what it's about.
I know what We Never Learn is about.
First off, there's this. We didn't read this. There's just
Yeah,
a short.
this.
Oh shit! What did I do? I accidentally full screened the thing. There's a short like chapter about. I think it's a collab between We Never Learn and Yuragi Sono Yunasan.
Yeah,
It's just
I think it's pretty much the poster.
they're just some titties, you know. They're just titties. We love titties, but you know the titties have to have some substance.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
those We Never Learn have substance.
No. So here's I read the synopsis. I wasn't gonna read. We never learned from the start.
I want to
Basic.
make for anyone, for the like two people that are gonna listen to this, I want to make it clear that we don't dislike harem series or ecchi series.
Oh,
We just think most of them are really bland.
oh no! I have choice words for for harem series. Um, so here's the thing. We never learned is about a guy that wanted he wanted something. I forget what
You
he
want a
wanted. Like
scholarship, I think.
yeah, and they were like, okay, you can have that. You just have to tutor these two geniuses at. This girl is a genius at literature, and this one is at sciences, and they want to enter into a science college and a literature college. Awesome, but you know, let's switch up. The science genius wants to be literature, and vice versa, and they're really bad at the other
That's
thing.
such a weird synopsis because how many people do you know that like want to go into the fields they're bad at?
No one, because for
People don't
being
do that.
yeah, if you're good at something, you need to
If you're good
spend
at,
some time on it.
it's not just that. It's like if if I was bad at art, like I'm bad at many other things, I wouldn't spend as much time doing it.
Yeah,
And
and
like,
like,
I'm not
uh,
I'm not suddenly gonna want to go to college for like, especially because I'm 23 and I'm pretty
yeah,
done with school. I wouldn't
and
suddenly want to go to college for like fucking what am I bad at? I I'm not gonna try and become a professional Magic the Gathering player. That would be cool, but I'm not gonna do it.
it wouldn't.
It is
It's
not worth
actually
the effort. I'm
pretty
too dumb
stressful.
for this.
Yeah, and not only that, like, at what point do you say, I'm really good at this? I'm not gonna do it, and I'm gonna do this that I'm really bad at. But at the same time, I think the field they're going for is they're really bad at the tutoring. If you if you want to enter on a specific field, you at least have enough interest, pay attention during tutoring. Don't bring me the bullshit.
It's just it's weird character motive. Not I understand the main character like oh he wants to support his poor family by getting a scholarship. That makes sense. It's like it's super ooh holier than thou. Our main character is a super good guy. But otherwise it's like it doesn't make
Not
sense.
not that it matters. I was gonna read everything,
Yeah.
and like I'm I'm really having a hard time imagining me reading this thing. This chapter, it's just painfully generic, painfully
Oh,
boring.
it's so there's it's like there's things happening. There's genetic emotion.
I gotta
I
say,
don't think the emotions are particularly like overwrought or bad or something, but this I
uh,
don't think is this even like brought up. We haven't read the back chapters of this because we have better things to do with our lives, but is this brought up at any point like before that the swim club and the third years, or was that specifically pulled for this chapter?
I don't know. I don't care. I read the entire chapter, and I don't want more. I think there's
All I know is that given the last page, they're definitely gonna fuck.
no, they're not.
They're not. Nothing ever
No,
happens in nothing ever happens in harem
that's
series. That
that's
would be
no,
too interesting.
that's the segue I need to rant on harem series.
Oh
I like
no.
I like I like the concept. Fuck me. I'm
Uh,
so tired
this episode is
of
already an hour and 40 minutes.
goods. I'm so tired of like dickless wimps that get pussy from all sides and are like completely unable to do anything about it. Like there's a limit to how much you can leverage Japanese high schoolers' ineptitude at having healthy relationships with the opposite gender. Oh no, we're all holding hands. Oh, are we gonna get pregnant now? No, but like,
To be fair,
I'm
if
so
you were
angry.
holding hands with a girl, wouldn't you jizz in your pants?
No, this isn't funny, okay? Like, uh, 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 I think there's like one etchy harem show I've enjoyed. You know, the one where he actually fucks every single girl.
I don't. That is not my preferred genre.
And they share because, you know, if you're gonna do a harem, actually do the harem. Don't just fucking.
I'm more interested in series where
Mm.
everyone's fucking each other.
Yeah, that's basically it.
I
And like,
know, I'm looking. We'll never learn. There's some tickle bitties. There are some swimming girls, and I hate the main character because his hair looks like mine.
the main character doesn't do anything.
he's,
There's
he's
there's
just
this
there.
there's these there are these emotional scenes where he's just hiding behind the corner.
This
Then
is this is not worth the effort we're spending on talking about it.
it's not. It's it's not
for
even.
for any actual fans if we never learn. Please get a better taste.
Yeah, no, like
Like we're
to be
sure
fair,
you
to be
enjoy
fair.
it for a reason, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
like, but I'll
Maybe
admit
it's like
it's
Black Clover and this is just fast food
no,
hard. No,
no, no, no, no, no, no. Black. That's what I was about to say. Black Clover is bad. This isn't bad. This isn't bad.
it's just
This is
bland.
nothing. It's bland, generic, boring. It's non. You know,
Okay.
at least,
It's
at least.
I was expecting this to be like take less time before we start ranting about every single topic under the sun, so I really need a break right now. I'll be
Yeah,
right back.
yeah. I'm also gonna take a break so as you can simply cut the silence.
And we're back. We
Yay!
spent like 15 minutes just trying to fix your microphone.
But no, everything's perfect. So anyway, next is Shokugeki no
Oh,
Soma.
first I want to talk about. I guess it's an ad. I don't know what's happening
Okay.
here, but I guess for the 50th anniversary,
Okay.
they're doing something for like old manga. And there's like some old manga. Like there's just like I can't read this obviously because I don't speak Japanese, but there's old characters. I mean, there's characters from old manga like Madaka Box and Toriko, and I think that's Beelzebub. I would like to know what's going on here, but I can't because it's in Japanese.
Yeah.
I also recognize that guy with the X on his shirt, but I don't know from where.
Yeah.
Just it's cool that there's like 50th anniversary stuff happening, and that old manga are being recognized. Wasn't Bleach cancelled?
I don't know. I don't care about Bleach.
That's fair. I heard it was like I think there was like this big conspiracy theory that Kubo pissed off everyone at Shonen Jump, and that's why Bleach never shows up on Shonen Jump stuff anymore. I don't know.
There's always conspiracy theories.
Shokugeki no Soma.
Yeah, it's. I really like Shokugeki no Soma.
I don't particularly care for it.
Like, it's very stable in terms of build up, payoff, and story progression, but the character interaction and the bits in between are solid enough to carry it. Like the actual food fights are okay; they're pretty good, pretty solid, but they can get old. If it wasn't for the characters, I would probably have already been done with the manga, but it's really good.
You're caught up with Shokugeki no Soma, aren't you?
Yeah.
I literally just read this chapter.
Right now they're going through a huge Shokugeki, where it's like team of the team of the bad guys versus the good guys, and like they're fighting for like the fate of food in Japan. I'm joking mostly, but kind of not, because there's this rich asshole that wants to close down all restaurants that don't follow the gourmet standards and stuff. It's unimportant, but it's really
like
important.
A terrible idea.
Oh no, it is a terrible idea. He knows this. It's like to get back at his senpai. It's the whole thing. It's really gay. Like there's things I don't like about Shokugeki, like the amount of dialogue that goes about what he did, what they do on the food. Like I think it's next issue. They have a guy that's basically next or last issue. They have a guy basically coming because It's a really good 4-cheese pizza.
Do you like fried tofu?
I never had fried tofu. This isn't fried tofu. I'm
Yes, it
pretty
is.
sure.
It's fried tofu wrapped around pilaf rice.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Did Did you not pay attention? It's
That's the thing. The actual
like
food.
an adaptation of a Japanese dish. It's like fried tofu wrapped around sushi rice.
Yeah,
Sounds
the
really
actual.
good because I like fried tofu and I like rice.
Yeah, the actual.
The only thing I
food
took
could.
from Shokugeki no
Fuck
Soma is
you.
that I'm
Fuck
hungry.
you, Ezzy.
What?
That's the third time you interrupt me. Gosh darn it! Stop it.
Motherfucker, you've been talking for most of this fucking
That's true.
podcast.
Oh, go ahead.
Continue.
Talk about fried tofu. No, like I could take or leave the food. Honestly, it's pretty good, and the food battles are pretty solid. Again, it's the character interactions that really clinch this for me. They have some really good characters.
Yeah, I just, I don't particularly care about Shokugeki no Soma, so all this made me was hungry and made me miss Toriko.
Yeah. I will say
It has
something.
really good art, though.
It does, but I wouldn't really know about this, but the art looks pretty solid to me.
I heard that I didn't hear. I think I saw that Shokugeki no Soma is fully digital,
Ooh.
and it's something. Again, I might be talking out of my ass, but looking at the lines and comparing to other manga, it does have much smoother lines that you'd kind of expect from digital artwork. It's really nice. But it's so dramatic.
It is. That's great. You know the guy with the scar across his nose?
Yeah.
He's an expert on sushi.
Yeah.
So he does sushido. This isn't a joke of mine. This is a thing.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, he has the dedication and honor of like Bushido only for sushi.
That's amazing.
It is. It's things like this that make Shokugeki no Soma amazing. Anyway, moving on to, unless you have something else to.
I don't know what's going on. I don't particularly care. Is Full Drive next?
Full Drive is next.
Full Drive. This is only what the 7th chapter of Full Drive, but
Yeah, it's the 7th chapter.
It honestly just feels like Haikyuu Light.
Is this drawn by the same guy that draws Haikyuu?
No, the art styles are completely different.
I don't know. It's Haikyuu.
I was thinking about this when I said there are a lot of Hinatas lately.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a sports manga.
This
one is actually, we actually read did we read the translation or did we just look at the Raws?
No, I read the translation for this.
Oh, I don't even remember anymore. I'm literally pulling up. I'm gonna pull up the actual chapter.
The only information I have about this is the fact that
it actually came out to Friday, so that makes sense. I didn't read it.
Yeah, no, I read it. The only information I've retained is the fact that he has some kind of lock-on ability and is a clean freak or a rubber freak. Oh, there's actually a really cool, creepy line about him polishing his rubber. But page 300. See page 300. You're gonna want to pull up the translated version of that and put it on screen right now. But yeah, there's
page 300. I'm doing this on 2 monitors, and my second monitor is a lot smaller.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is taking a while.
there's some things I can talk about meanwhile. There's some really weird fan service
Oh,
going
that's
on with the.
hilarious.
No, it's hilarious because as you've read this chapter, right?
And
They
no,
have.
in fact, I just realized I didn't read this chapter at all.
Well, oh, with the hilarious, were you talking about the polishing thing?
Yeah.
Okay. It is. There's some really weird fan service stuff going on with the main girl character. She
Makes
wears
sense.
some weird outfits. She has this one sport outfit that's
Honestly, even with an English translation, this is super
it's not
generic
great.
sports manga.
Main girl character has this one outfit where basically it outlines her boobs, and they have this weird shape that's like it's probably an accurate shape because boobs are actually weird in real life, but at the same time the outfits don't do that, and it was really bothersome. And there's some weird art in this thing. Like, what's happening in page 299? What is that?
Are
That
you
looks.
seriously asking, or are you just pointing out that it kind of looks like he has a boner?
Oh no, I'm noticing that now, but like no, I'm just overall looking at an anatomy, and I don't know enough about art, but
Oh,
something's wrong here.
it's wrong, but it's wrong in a good way. It's like it's kind of distorted, but it's distorted in a way that gives movement to the pose. I don't think the art in this is bad. I just think it's generic. We say generic a lot, but honestly, a
I
lot
don't
of
like it.
these like middle range mangas are just, you
It
know.
bothers me. His chin bothers me. He's gonna put out someone's eye with that.
That's fair.
Except on page 296, where he looks like he has a decent chin there. I don't know.
Who needs chins? But yeah, Full Drive is probably not a manga that we're gonna care about.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
I mean, to be fair, I'm not gonna say it has potential, but it's the 7th chapter.
Yeah.
Although it's the 6th chapter of Golem Hearts, and that's like 500 times more interesting.
True.
I have a thing with sports mangas that I really like good sports manga. I can't stand the more generic ones.
I still have grievances over the fact you don't like baby steps, but sure.
I like baby steps. I just have certain problems with baby steps.
Hey, can we, like, because it's also a good segue, can we talk about the ads between these two? What is this an advertisement for?
I don't speak Japanese, but these are some tickle bitties.
Yeah, yeah. Which is an amazing segue.
It's probably for a voice actress. Oh, isn't this artwork, isn't that from that movie that got a Western adaptation?
Don't know.
The one that's a loop-a-loop. But I think this is an ad for some voice actress. Or several voice actresses?
Maybe. I don't know.
And they're just titties everywhere.
Speaking of titties everywhere.
Speaking of titties everywhere,
this color page.
I hate their stomachs.
Yeah?
That's not how girls' stomachs work.
You say this, but I don't see stomachs.
On the girl that's sitting on the rock?
I guess?
Just the weird dip. And the boobs and butt pose.
No, I don't know. Maybe she has a six-pack.
That's not how six-packs work either.
I don't know. I don't have a six-pack.
Neither do I. We're chubby manga reading, Magic the Gathering, video game grinding nerds.
So I
And
hate
we
this
are
manga.
also pasty. What?
I hate this manga.
I don't care. It's just it's generic ecchi manga with a plot twist. The plot twist is that it's slightly supernatural.
How many? I don't like how many unnecessary panty shots there are. I don't like that he
so
sticks.
ecchi.
It is. It's,
This is the sort of manga you rip out of the magazine so your parents don't see it. And then you hide it under your mattress for future use.
So, because I don't actually have a lot I want to talk about this manga, I want to talk about the last 4 pages.
Okay.
I did the unthinkable and I actually thought about them for a second. So,
okay.
So the guy rapes her.
What?
Yes. You've read this in English, right?
Yes.
They're not actually drinking alcohol, right?
Yes, I just thought that it was a weird cut.
They study. She falls asleep at one point, and then we cut to this next scene where she's clearly stripped. Like, I don't know.
That's full-on vag. Look at the glares from the light. They're covering our innocence.
Yeah, no, that's like... But
or
like,
non-existent innocence because we're 20-year-olds.
You go back a couple of pages and she has a bra, right?
I just thought it was a really weird cut.
No,
I think
because
the implication is that they fell asleep together, and she doesn't have a bra.
And her panties are off. That doesn't come off like that, you know? It just doesn't.
It's just full-on porn.
It's not even the full-on porn. He raped her.
No, because she's happy in the next page.
You can't give consent while you're asleep.
I mean, this is some really weird implications.
It is, but I don't want to think about it, but the cut just says, okay, she fell asleep at one point, right? And the bra and panties came off after that point. Because if she was...
Honestly, I don't think that's the intent.
I know it's not the intent,
but it's
okay?
A really unfortunate
but I
cut
hate
now
this.
that you made me think about it.
Like, worst case scenario, he puts roofies in the drink. Best case scenario, he intentionally sexually harassed her.
Welcome to Weekly Jumpcast, where we look at
titties
and talk about how creepy this manga is.
It's really creepy. I hate it. I hate it.
Why did you make me think about this?
Because I thought about it, so now you get to suffer with me. I hate this. Let's move on, because
are we not gonna... Okay, let's... Yeah, I don't want to talk about it either.
No, it's just bad, and makes me miserable that it exists.
Changing the subject, I really wish I could speak some sort of Japanese, because these ads and these inner pages look really interesting.
No, okay, I wanna go back and say,
to the creepy manga?
Yeah, just in general, say like, I'm a pervert, and I enjoy my porn. But if this was porn, I would read it, and it's just bad on both aspects, and really, it's bad. Why would you do this? Why would you? No wonder.
So,
stop. Bad touch.
I was under the impression that Gintama was a comedy manga.
Yeah, in my notes...
Gintama's gonna end, isn't it?
I don't know.
This feels incredibly final chaptery.
I just know that Gintama fans probably are gonna hate us because this is, I'm assuming, the single worst place to start Gintama ever.
Probably.
Um, yeah, like there's a big fight. I don't think the fight is actually noticeable at any of anything at all. Uh I'm Shonen
Oh
is
no, oh no, oh no. I'm having a fucking crisis here. I will explain this to you in a minute, but let me fix this. Okay, so having horribly interrupted our podcast, here's my explanation of the fuck up I just did. I have plants on my windowsill, and those plants are like, and it's in front of my desk, right?
okay.
And they're succulents and they're on loose dirt, so the roots don't rot. Plant stuff. I also have a Gundam box along with the manual and some pages of a comic I'm working on propped up on my desk against the wall. So the box is under the windowsill. And while I was listening to you talk, I looked at my plants like, huh, these need to be watered. So I took the water bottle I keep by my desk and I started watering them. And because it's loose soil, the water started dripping, and now I have a flooded Gundam box.
Good job.
And that sucked. At least it was the bottom part. But that was a minor emergency I just had to deal with. Anyway, back to the manga.
Yeah, like it looks,
I got water
you
on my
know,
storyboards. Today is not
it
a good
looks
day.
kind
Yeah.
of generic, but I know it's Gintama, so it's probably not. I appreciate Nazi Sephiroth, but you know, I like more context, and then really, I'm gonna have to catch up on
Yeah.
this.
I mean, the art is awesome.
Yeah, I like his spaghetti arm. These weeks aren't spaghetti.
I'm looking at I like the flashback. If I knew what was happening, this would probably be really poignant. Poignant?
Yeah,
Is that how you
it's
say
pretty
that?
good.
I don't understand words. My notes for this chapter are literally Gentama. Dot. I don't know anything.
Uh, Kintama, bad place to start. Arm spaghetti, Nazi Sephiroth. Yeah, I hit all my points so far.
Yeah, we apologize to any Gentama fan that's listening.
Yeah.
I assume that this looks really final battle-y. So I assume that it makes sense because Gintama is like, besides One Piece, it's like the last whole old school Shonen Jump manga that's still running. So I'm assuming Gintama is gonna end soon.
Okay. There's more manga we haven't
We're basically
read coming up.
we've basically come to the point where like most of these mangas we haven't read because they're not in English.
Yeah, I guess.
Kenomaru
Wait.
Sumu, it's a manga that I regret not being able to read right now because a manga about sumo looks really interesting.
Yeah,
And the artwork is pretty good.
yeah, like it looks pretty good, pretty
I like
awesome.
I have one problem with Hinomaru Sumu.
Okay,
Some
what
of
is your
these
problem?
people's faces are placed really high on their heads. It's 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 not just and it's not just that the heads are like longer, is that the entire face is pushed up. Because if you look at like your own face, The tip, if you look at a normal person's face, the tip of your ear is about level with your eyebrows. And the tip of this guy's ear is level with the middle of his nose. This, it's a really weird face. He has no forehead. You know how they call big foreheads 5 heads?
This is a 3 head.
It's a 3 head. It's unfortunate because the art is really good.
Yeah.
It looks so weird.
I'm just not gonna comment on it because I can't read it, haven't read it, and I apologize.
It looks really good, and we'd like to read it. And I think there's some chapters available, but I don't think it's coming out weekly. And this is the weekly Jumpcast.
Yeah, we jump weekly.
And then we have
Robot X Laser Beam. You know, when I started reading this manga, I didn't expect a golf manga.
Yeah, I remember when we were like, because we got prepped up for this show by reading several manga, and then we realized that would take forever. And the point is, we got super excited about a manga called Robot Laser Beam. Then it's a manga about golf, so it's incredibly disappointing because we like robots.
Yeah. But this manga is very unfortunate in it that Baby Steps exists and is better.
This is literally the 3rd time you've mentioned Baby Steps.
It's really good. It's my golden. It's my ideal sports manga, so I'm gonna compare sports manga to it. And there's a lot of sports manga in Shonen Jump.
There is a lot of sports manga in Shonen Jump. I don't know if this is normal.
But notice this is the 3rd sports manga, and it's the 3rd time I refer to Baby Steps.
Is it the 3rd sports manga?
Yeah, you got Haikyuu, Ping Pong, Shangbang, and this.
What did you just say? Oh,
Ping Pong. And then I made noises because I'm bad.
You didn't compare sumo to golf. You didn't compare sumo to tennis.
Well, sumo is like tennis in it that they look like they got hit by a tennis racket and have smooshed up faces. There we go. So
I don't have anything to say about Robot Laser Beam because it is a slow fucking chapter.
It is, and it's in the it's an underwhelming mid-tournament arc. There were more interesting things happening with characters in the last chapter, and this is just, oh, this guy is really strong. Look at how strong this guy is. Break an entire golf club. He broke an entire golf club. I'm like, I'm really I want to like this. I really do.
Do you know what the one thing
I
like about Robot Laser Beam? This chapter of Robot Laser Beam.
Okay.
It introduced me to the concept of fried eggs.
Yes.
That's a real sports terminology.
I really appreciate the concept of fried eggs.
Funny as fuck.
Yeah, like, I'm bothered they already have a time skip. It feels like cheating.
How much of a time skip was it?
I think it's like 3 years.
Yeah, that's...
So, you basically get, oh, I like golf. It's something that I would like to pursue. 3 years later, and like, no, I wanted to see that progression. That's what I love in Baby Steps. It's the steady progression of HN.
Well,
like,
but wasn't Robot Laser Beam was made by the same author as Kuroko no Basket, right?
I wouldn't know.
Because I think Kuroko no Basket is also another sports series that doesn't care about progression.
Yeah, but isn't like Kuroko no Basket literally superpowered basketball?
It might be. I didn't read it. I'm very
Right.
picky
I
about
remember
sports
people
manga.
like going to different farms and like shifting hair colors and stuff.
What I remember from Kuroko no Basket is that it was the complete opposite thematically of Haikyuu.
Ah, like I saw a single episode of Inazuma 11. They were about to start the game when a third enemy team appeared from the top of the stadium, dropped down, and teleported the enemy team and the ball away. So the match could. That's all I know about Inazuma 11. Anyway, as nothing really happens in this chapter except some character points about, robot being. It's not. It isn't rude if I call him autistic, right? He's pretty much canonically that.
Yeah, I think
Like I don't.
He's at least coded as autistic.
Yeah, I'm not, and I don't mean it in like a derogatory term in any way, but I don't know. Another thing, given that I would like to see is how he deals with that, and progresses through that, like in baby steps. Asian has similar tendencies, and like you see that he's like, okay, I have found that I like tennis. And I connect to other people through tennis because what I know is what I can do is how I function now. And I really don't see that. He just made this guy as his friend because he was nice, not really because golf. Yeah, that's Robot.
Yay! And that's pretty much all the mangas we actually read. Because the rest of it is just like mangas don't have English translations, I think. We have, Cross Account has an English translation, but it's only up to 9th chapter, I think. Cross Account, what?
Next manga is Cross Account, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I wanna talk a bit about this Christmas cover for Cross Account.
Okay.
These are the best titties in the magazine.
They're pretty good titties.
I appreciate this much more.
The other titties were like, okay, those are some big old titties, but those are some nice titties.
Yeah. This is the kind of thing I can actually appreciate other than, I'm not even gonna formulate
I appreciate that there's Thai, because everyone knows that Thais are superior to boobies.
Excuse me, what did you say?
Anyway, Cross Account.
No, I actually didn't hear you correctly.
Thais are superior to boobies?
Thais?
Thais.
Oh.
Leg meats.
I mean, you're not wrong, but those are better boobies than thighs, Those aren't particularly good thighs.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, really good thighs can be better.
This is way too much time to be spent checking out underage girls.
Are they underage?
I have no idea. I haven't read this in English.
Yeah.
They're probably
it's worth remembering, these are like fictional characters. If you actually look at, living women,
don't check out underage girls and don't check out women and talk about their boobies.
Yeah,
unless they want you to.
Yeah, don't objectify like actual people. That's pretty bad. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Cross Account.
I don't want this to be political. Cross Account.
Shut up. No, but
Titties,
seriously,
hey, tickle
Cross account
bitties.
looks good. It's just we haven't read it. It does look like super dramatic and romantic to be on Shonen Jump.
Yeah, but it also like the 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 page we just gushed about for a bit made me think it might be etchy. It doesn't look like it's
Yes,
etchy. Yeah.
this definitely doesn't look like ecchi.
Yeah.
I think it's just, cover page fan service. This manga, from what I've heard, is about social media and their texting, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know, this looks
I'm
really good, and I'm kind of upset that you can't read it in English.
yeah. I'm looking through for the first time ever. Spring Weapon #1. I skipped. Holy crap! I want to read this.
The Spring
I
Weapon
don't.
#1.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening, but it's amazing. I can recognize it.
I'm just. What is going on with fucking page 414
414.
at the bottom? What's with that fucking Ahegao face?
That's some really bad Ahegao face. But here's the thing. Yesterday, actually 2 days ago now, because 2 a.m. We both went to a Magic the Gathering store,
Yes.
and we did a bit of pack wars with the new unstable set.
Yes.
And the rare card that I got in my pack was a spell called Over My Dead Body. This is what I imagined that to be. If I had to associate a scene to this, to that card, it would be this. This is Over My Dead Body.
That was an incredibly long diversion for a joke that's not even funny.
Oh man, it's amazing how little actual words that entire bit
The
has.
worst. Spring Weapon #1, it's probably funny, we can't read it.
It looks great.
There's some bunny girl titties.
Yeah, but like,
What the fuck is happening in this? Are these supposed to be robots? Are those robot bunny girl titties?
I think no, they're imaginary, right?
They're imaginary?
No, she actually said. Okay. I think these are the. They're numbered.
Your microphone is going staticky again.
Got it.
We interrupt this broadcast to fix this stupid problem.
It's just good.
Okay, that's good.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. They're
touch,
numbered.
We're back. Don't touch your microphone again.
All these all these non-human characters are numbered. So I'm assuming these are the spring weapons.
Yes.
Or the weapons.
Yes.
And I was gonna say that every single weapon had like this button on, like the spring weapon #1 has.
Yeah.
But I'm changing that idea to the spring weapon #1 can transform. And like here in page 421, it transforms into something. I think it's candy because in the next page it's being eaten alive.
It's probably some weird Japanese candy like sweet potato jelly. I'm not joking.
No, I'm just looking at this, and I think they ate the entire spring weapon #1, and the main character is like mourning its death.
This is funny, but we don't know what's going on. Someone please translate spring weapon #1 and send it to us.
Yes, please.
You don't even have to do like scanlation, just send us the script.
Yeah, I think spring weapon #1 just literally straight up by being eaten.
And the fucking in the last panel of 423, there's still the fucking Hayagao face. What is this manga?
Yeah, it's still there.
This is
I don't know.
incredibly bizarre, and I don't. I know I keep saying this, but we have no idea what's going on.
Next manga,
So
what is
there's
this?
another ad with like old manga
And Digimon.
and Digimon, but that's for V Jump, I think.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna. Let's just get this through. Next manga is what?
Shudan.
It's
No,
football?
yeah, Shudan, the football one. It looks incredibly generic, and we don't have it in English.
Yeah. Uh,
Just dribbling with a girl. That's not a euphemism, but it could be.
the characters look cute. I like
I
their
like this
design.
art style. It just
Yeah.
doesn't look interesting. They literally
And
just shoot a ball around,
and
then they
something
are
something.
thinking about each other,
Yeah, I'm just going through and let's get this through.
and then I think
Let's.
a rival or something appears. I don't know. And this is the most bizarre thing in Shonen Jump, even after like fucking implied rape ecchi and spring weapon number one being eaten.
What? The tomato?
Yes.
I
Tom
don't.
tomat tomat tomatoipo no linkopen.
Why is this weird? I don't.
Look at it. It's the art style. You see this art style, right?
Yeah.
It's basically a Sanrio character art style, like Hello Kitty,
Yeah.
and it's just it looks so bizarre, and the fact that it's not out in English makes it even more bizarre.
It
Because
looks really boring.
it
It
looks
looks like
really boring, and
nothing's
also
happening.
besides weird Sanrio art, the art isn't very good. But
Yeah.
I really like the face on page 455. That could be actually funny. It could
Yeah.
be funny. We don't know though. Oh, what is this? I haven't heard a single person talk about this.
Yes. Same.
Even something like I've I've seen mentions of Spring Weapon number one. I've seen mentions of Cross Account. I didn't see mentions of Shudan, but some of the first chapters are translated. So we just couldn't find the latest one. Tomat, 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 the tomato one. We literally, I've
ah,
seen. It feels like a fever dream.
potato
I
tomato.
think the reason it's the last manga, it's because it's like you read it and then you're like, oh, that just happened. Speaking of that just happened, that's it for this week.
So I think like
Do you
there's a
wanna
bunch
like
of good.
pick out? Do you wanna pick out your favorite chapter this week?
Why we're it's pretty obvious. I was gonna say, uh, if we can learn something from this is like there's some good stuff here, but you should definitely be reading Doctor Stone.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
and I would also like further this with if you enjoy uh Robotech Laser Beam, you should try Baby Steps. If you enjoy Promise Neverland, you should try Dolly Kill Kill. I won't guarantee you'd like it, but they're good and in the same vein.
Personally, I really enjoyed, in terms of things that like I just liked, I really enjoyed Doctor Stone, and I'm really looking forward to getting more deep into the Promised Neverland.
Uh, yeah, like
And I'm also, and related to this week's issue, I'm just excited for what's happening in Hirawaka. Because something new is gonna start, and everyone likes new things.
I'm getting some really good feelings of accomplishment from uh, starting to get caught up on One Piece. But mostly I'm just really looking forward to Doctor Stone. I really appreciate that one manga with all the Onis, whose name I still can't remember.
Fucking, you're completely useless. Kimetsu no Yaiba.
Yeah, and Promised Neverland looks good. I'm gonna check up on that.
Well, we'll be back next week, hopefully, with more opinions and weird diversions to things that are completely unrelated to what we're actually talking about. And
Okay,
hopefully it won't be how long has it been? It's been 2 hours and 30 minutes.
that's not
I
terrible.
will probably edit this down. We have magic tomorrow and it's 2 a.m. and I need to edit this today. Good night, everyone.
Good night.